we are really proud to bring on Carlos. Oh, can't hear you, Carlos.
Yeah.
There we go.
Hello, Mauri. Hello, team. It's really a great pleasure to have you with us.
Thank you.
We are very, very happy. We can see that we are relaunching the VRARA Association, and we are going to refresh all our souls and all our emotions. So today is the day. So thank you very much, and thank you very much to all the attendants, because you are the reason why we are here. So I would love to share some words about. Okay, only a few words to talk about megatrends, XR, next learning area, and beyond. So, as Mauri said previously, we are, let's see, a community with more than 770 members. We have every 2 weeks our education committee with people from more than 5 continents, and we share our values, our experiences, and we have had incredible people. Many of them will be together with us, sharing their experiences and their knowledge. So one thing is that I really think that today we are in a very, very special moment where the convergence between extended reality and AI is creating a new disruption opportunity for education. So we are going to share this study, which is a very, very interesting study to all the VR members, and you can get it in the new committees. So one thing is the global context is growing very, very fast. So this is why one of the key strategic mission from the manufacturers and the organizations is the education sector. And we can see that there are a lot of opportunities. And we are going to talk about that during the next panels and sessions. One thing is which are the main drivers: rising digital literacy, declining XR hardware cost, integration of generative AI, expansion of national innovation programs like EU, South Korea, States. But still there are main challenges that we have to close this gap: the lack of standardization, operational and maintaining cost, the teachers training gap, data privacy, and so on. So we identify finally 10 mega trends for education that will be very active in the next couple of years: hyper personalized learning, global collaborative hubs, gamify and fully immersive learning, on-demand lifelong learning, augmented classroom, universal inclusion and accessibility, ethics and digital well-being for sure, generative AI and content creation, emotional learning, and so more. The thing is that all these topics and all these things will have their reference during our sessions. So I think now it's time to hear the voices of the people that is going to talk with us. You can access to all these documents just for free if you are member of the VRAR Association. So we are ready to go. So the thing is, I would love to invite to the stage two of my, let's say, favorite members, voices, and experts that will open this session. Distinguished guest and visionary educators, it's a true honor to open this education summit with the extraordinary participation of two remarkable champions in XR and AI. Both are the leaders and the voices that for me are really references. One is my favorite friend, Monica Ares, a recognized leader in transforming learning through AI and immersive technology. She's director of content transformation at Microsoft. She has been leader in IDEA Lab, Imperial College of London, and she was the leader of at Meta, the immersive learning, and she is one of the top 100 global women in the future. Many more things, but we have to hear your voice. The other is John Kelly. He's a very nice guy. He's very impressive and with a lot of experience in AI. He was with us just some months ago, and he is the founder and general director of Colegio ICAI. It's a boutique kinder and primary school in Mexico, recognized as the first school in Mexico to embrace metaverse. He is drawing inspiration from finance phenomenon-based learning. He leads an innovative institution that brings creativity, critical thinking, immersive technologies. So I'm really happy that you are going to open our education summit. Please jump to the stage. Mix is yours. Thank you very much for your time and to be with us. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Carlos. Hi, John.
Hello. Hi, Monica. Hello. Nice to meet you.
Yes, we had a chance to hop on a phone call last night, which was really engaging and fun. And we realized that when we talk about the future of learning, it's so easy to just focus on the moment that we're in right now, right? Because we have all these new tools, new AI features, new platforms. But we were thinking, what if we were fast forwarding 5 years? And what would the headlines look like between now and then?
Yeah, absolutely. I think it's a really fun idea, to talk about the headlines that we could have in 2030, because for sure there'll be some shocking headlines out there in the next 5 years. So it'd be really fun just to knock a few ideas about and play some ping pong with some things that we think probably will revolutionize and transform learning over the next couple of years.
Oh, beautiful. I love it. Okay, you go first. So what headline do you hope to see about the future of learning somewhere between now and the next 5 years?
So I grabbed this headline. I found it in The Guardian last couple of weeks. It's a real headline that came to me. I've actually heard about the alpha schools over the last couple of months or so. But the headline is "The 2-hour school day outlearns the old system." And there's a lady over in Texas called Mackenzie Price, who's setting up alpha schools that really have this statement is that your child will learn just 2 hours every day. They'll outperform everyone in the top 2% of all standardized tests, and the rest of the school day, utopia, is going to be used for arts and crafts and music and exploring ourselves and debate. It sounds ideal, but I think it's a really good headline to explore.
Oh, I absolutely love that one. And I love being able to balance both, the cultural side, the arts, and then also the learning, if we can make all of it fit into a day in a much more balanced way. But what do you think mastery will look like when time is no longer the measure of success for school?
That's right. And I think we do, how many courses do you see, especially in language learning? It's an 80-hour course, 80-hour course. Time is a resource, right? It's not really it's not really a criteria for mastery. So I think important in Clickio Ikigai and Hearing Olinka, these are the two schools that I'm managing at the moment. One of the key words, the 21st century buzzword is agency, the capacity to act, And if we can get agency into our students and into our children, then this seems to be like the on-ramp to these 21st century learning skills that are still there. We've heard them over and over again, but are so important and powerful to us. But creativity creeping up that list, because when we get our children being creative, we get these transformational situations. So I think Tony Wagner first mentioned this back, and he said, time over mastery, mastery beats time all the time. And we know from having our own children, I know you mentioned to me last night, you've got 3 children, Monica, and they're all different, three different children, right? One goes faster in maths, one goes faster in English, one goes faster in sciences, but they learn at different paces. So, the first idea about the 2-hour classroom, I absolutely love it. I think it could really work out if we have these short bursts of efficient learning, and the AI really can give us high-level standardized results, flexible learning schedules. I think, again, we both got teenagers in our house, and, the schedule that we give our teenagers is not quite the learning schedule that I feel that they're on in their natural rhythms. And if we can make it competency-proof, then I think in the next 5 years, I think this headline has got some kernel of truth in it that we could move to this type of system.
I love that. I think our teens and our learners would be much happier with that balance as well. So I would love to get to that state.
Absolutely, yeah. I think the Harvard AI tutor experiment said that you could double, if you're using an AI avatar, you can double the learning amount of time. And Mackenzie Price says that their children regularly test in the top 2%. We can drill into that any which way. Maybe they've already got the top 2% of children in the state, but at the same time, it's very attractive to think that all of the things that make us human, that makes us flourish, the ikigai, which I named my school after that idea, actually is not solely in the learning camp. It's in a holistic improvement. I think you ask children, you ask my son, what's his most favorite part of the day? It's playing soccer. You ask other children, it's playing music, it's theater. It's those creative, humanistic elements that really propel the children onwards.
Yeah.
So, okay, a headline. What, Monica? Give me a headline that you think we might see in the next 5 years. I'm really excited to hear this. So
I think I'll start with I think interactive video is going to become sort of the new YouTube, or then, so much of our learning happens through video instruction, but imagine if videos don't just play, they actually respond. So instead of passively watching, learners can pause, ask it questions, get instant tailored explanations, either simulations, role play, data visualizations, that AI can adjust the pacing of the video and the direction that you go in, and then even shift that tone and complexity depending on how engaged or confused you are. But I'm really after curiosity and looking at sort of the ways in which we consume content and learning right now. How do we notch them up through AI to make us even more curious?
I mean, just amazing, right? It's just amazing to me that someone, a real person, is really thinking about doing this in the world. But what happens when every learner has a personalized conversational classroom in the pocket? What effect does this have on society? What effect does this have on our learners and our children?
I mean, I think it changes everything about how we define learning in the moment, right? So right now we learn when we sit down, we kind of isolate ourselves. We know that we're going to sit there, and something is curated from start to finish. But with interactive video, learning can become much more conversational, contextual, hopefully deeply personalized. And you could be watching a video on climate change and ask, so show me what this looks like in my city. And then it instantly pulls data and visuals, and they make it relevant to you and the problems that you might want to solve or that you deeply care about. Now, the original video still has to somehow get from start to end. I don't know 100% what that looks like, because there is a purpose around that container, but you can pause it. You can take detours along the way. You can ask it questions or brainstorm, practice, see different examples. And so based on that information, the system can either fast forward you if it thinks you can skip a certain part, or even go deeper if it knows that you need more practice. And I think this is just one of those shifts that we're trying to make of education really kind of being a linear, one directional right now towards a more adaptive and inquiry-based dialogue. But the risk, I think, is that if it becomes hyper individualized, if the learner is really sitting there and going down their own learning pathway, then we might lose that collective experience, that shared spark that comes from discussing ideas together. So the opportunity isn't just about we have this smarter content that's hyper personalized to you, but it's about designing a system that makes those individual experiences so powerful that you can't wait to go back to the learning group and then have that learning be collective and social.
Wow. Well, I've got a question further along about what you think about high stakes testing. I have my own very personalized ideas about high stakes testing from all my years working in education, but I'd love to know more about what you think about AI is going to do to education in the future. Now, I think to our evaluation systems in particular, but I'll leave that for a couple of minutes down the line.
Well, it's funny because another headline we can throw in right now, but it's that I think we're heading to a place with no more multiple choice, and I think assessment is actually going to become screen aware. I'm calling it screen aware as phase one, but eventually it will go to something much more intuitive. But imagine a technology that can actually see your screen, and not in a surveillance way, but more in a mentoring type of way. So it's a system that can see what you're doing, understand your process, assess your proficiency in real time. So it's almost like, the way we learn with a really good mentor. They can instantly assess where you're at, and they can start to give you challenges that push you just a little bit further, just the right way, not so much that you lose interest, but they keep sort of stretching that. And I think that we can now have a screen-aware agent that can understand how your thinking is evolving, how your learning is growing. And like a good mentor, it will guide you through those steps of either teaching, having you practice, or taking the training wheels off. And through an assessment, which is actually probably you solving a real problem in real time, it will start to understand your proficiency and those skills, not just what you memorized. And so I think we're not going to maybe not even have a grade at the end, but it'll be almost like a bar graph of different ways in which you've shown proficiency. So part of it might be the skill or the topic you had to learn, but it might be collaboration, creativity, curiosity, all these skills that we haven't been able to measure, especially through our multiple choice high stakes assessment, that now can almost serve as a digital wallet that you can either show, a future employer, or that can become something that helps train your personalized system to go back and figure out more places to focus in or accelerate you forward. But, that's the first version. I think this system will be able to observe how you navigate on your computer screen, but soon through glasses and other wearables, it will be able to learn from your real world actions. So it can see what you're building or designing, explaining, experimenting with, and support you in context in the real world, whatever that might look like. And so I think that shift from occasionally assessing in a very high stakes test of multiple choice, which we all know is a terrible way to measure understanding, to this continuous lifelong learning, one where hopefully curiosity isn't a phase that we get a handful of aha moments, but it's a habit, and that system helps us sustain it, and ultimately gives us the ability to stay curious, keep learning, keep stretching, and continuously apply that hopefully lifelong learning model throughout whatever we're doing, whether it's in a classroom, at our jobs, or just in the world.
Personalized learning journeys, right? That's so such an interesting idea of how you get those portfolios of information that follow the child through their learning journey. I think a lot of schools are already looking at that, and I know I work with the Cambridge International Board, and I also work with IB, two of the biggest groups, and they are definitely looking at this right now. How is that going to impact them in 5 years? And I think it's a huge question. Is what is the value of high stakes testing in a world that's driven by AI? It has very minimal value, in my opinion. But what does have value to future employees and for our students is being able to demonstrate real world competencies and have that evidence just right there to show future employees. So I think that's definitely going to happen. I think, I can't foresee a world in which we continue with high stakes testing. It will be modified and changed over the time to bring in these different types of digital assets and digital richness that we have in the ecosystem.
Yeah. Well, I know we only have 1 minute left, so I'm going to flip the script. Instead of the headlines we do hope to see, what's one you really hope we don't see?
Well, there's one of the major preoccupations that I have at the moment about AI is relationships with children and AIs transcending the borders. So I really don't hope to see any more headlines about adolescents falling in love with AI systems. I think this is extremely worrying a trend for me coming out of Silicon Valley and all of the information that we've got there. So I'd like to see rates of teens falling in love with AIs being minimal or zero in the future.
Amazing. No, that's good. And my fear is if we see a headline, it's future of learning's arrived. It looks just like 2020, right? Pandemic era, everything is digital, video, multiple choice. Then we will have not evolved, just digitized the past. So yes, I hope through all of our collective work, and I love what you're doing with your schools, that AI, doesn't just change how humans learn, but it finally lets us teach the way that we're meant to learn. Because I think for a long time, our technology has actually stopped us from that ability. And I'm hoping these newer systems collectively allow us to get there. Oh, you're on mute.
Monica, John, thank you so much for that. That was so great. My head's already buzzing from everything you guys have been discussing. So for those of you who are joining us on Meta, Facebook, or on LinkedIn, or even watching this on YouTube, I can see some of the comments blowing up, and I'm sure there's going to be a lot more questions about this. And we definitely are going to have you guys back for probably another longer discussion at this point. So this is great. Thank you again. We're bringing Mari back on as well. Monica, John, appreciate you guys so much. Have a wonderful day.
Thank you.
You too.
Thanks so much. That was very interesting. Appreciate it.
Yeah.
If you are not a member, please join. We're going to do this end of the year special so that you can join, get the white papers, get the trend reports, get to events, learn. So truly, thank you. That's cool. We got that discount code that'll be running all conference, and there we are. So if you're ready to build the future, you come to the website, hit a button, you'll learn more. We can get you included. And that said,